Today we're diving into a topic that could significantly impact your financial future. Stick around and we're going to uncover how 75% of Canadians are using their TFSA incorrectly, and we're going to go through some action steps at the end of this video to get you back on track to make sure that you don't fall into this statistic. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's cover the basics. The tax-free savings account is a great investment tool for all Canadians over the age of 18. It's a versatile account designed to help you save and invest all tax-free, meaning that every single dollar that you earn and make in the tax-free savings account is absolutely tax-free to you. All right, now let's talk about the all-important, how much can I put into my tax-free savings account, that contribution room. What's important to know about your contribution limit for your tax-free savings account is that it accumulates over the years even if you don't use it. So if you haven't used it past age 18, maybe you've never used it at all, you've accumulated possibly a fair amount of contribution room over time. To find out your exact limit, you want to go to the CRA website, log into your CRA account, and it will show up under your RRSP and TFSA contribution limit on the CRA website. Now remember, staying within your contribution limit is very important so that you don't incur any penalties. One little caveat that I want to add in here that a lot of people don't understand is that when you look at your TFSA contribution room, early in the year, January, February, March, before your tax return is complete, it might show that you have more room than you actually have because it hasn't taken into account any contributions that you made that previous year. It's important to log into CRA to see your limit, but also track it on your side to make sure that you're not over contributing and receiving that 1% penalty per month on over contributions. Now here's where it gets interesting. Going back to that 75% of Canadians, 75% of you watching this video are not using the tax-free savings account at all, or you're using it incorrectly. And when I say incorrectly, I mean you're using it for a savings account. The power of the TFSA account is really allowing your money to grow absolutely tax-free. And putting it into savings, you're not getting a whole lot of return. Now, with higher interest rates, you've got a bit of a bump on your savings, but again, long term, it's not the solution for within your TFSA account. The tax-free savings account allows you to invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, everything that other investment accounts like your RSP, your LIRAs, all these other investment accounts can do for you. Maybe your RSP, the investments within that look the same as your TFSA. The benefit with that TFSA, again, you don't get the tax break when you put the money in, but all that money is growing absolutely tax-free for you. Okay, time for some action. So let's talk about two simple strategies that you can implement today, not tomorrow, next week, over today, within your TFSA to get things back on track so that you don't fall into that 75%. The first thing is to diversify your investments. Again, going back to the name of the account, tax-free savings account, it should have been called the tax-free investing account. So make sure you understand what you're able to invest in and hold within that tax-free savings account and start diversifying, getting out of savings, and start hopefully earning a bit of money on a tax-free basis within that account. So consider investing in a mix of assets that align with your financial and retirement goals. Again, the TFSA account is going to be a piece of the overall pie. And for a lot of you, you need to be investing in that account, building it out, and not just sitting a bit of cash in there for savings. So make sure you diversify this account, but make sure everything aligns with the end net result, your retirement goal, your financial plan along the way, all that. It needs to come together. So don't just take this video and say, well, Adam said I need to throw my TFSA into stocks. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying it needs to align with your end goal, but open up this TFSA a bit more that you can own different things in here, things that are going to work a bit better for you, and really the intention of that TFSA account to begin with. The second tip is to work really hard to maximize your TFSA account. Now, I know for a lot of you, with price of fuel and food and everything else going up, inflation's killed a lot of us as far as our budgets go. And so saving extra money is very difficult. Now, as things kind of cool off, as you get a bit of a handle on things, work really hard to find some extra money in that budget to start maximizing the TFSA account. A recent CRA study showed that only 8.9%, so just shy of 9% of Canadians maximized their TFSA last year. You want to make sure that you're getting as close to max or the max as possible. Again, it's a great way to build that asset. Now, if you're in a situation where the budget is tight, you're unable to put anything towards that, start working on that budget first, right? Start at the foundation and work upwards. But set a goal for yourself of start putting in, $20 a week, $50 a week, whatever it is. Get something going into that tax-free savings account and work towards maxing it out. Again, that contribution room accumulates over time, so you have time to kind of build that up, set goals, work on those goals, and accomplish them. That same study done by CRA back in 2020 showed that the average Canadian, back in 2020, so years ago when we had Let's Contribution Room, available contribution room for Canadians on average was over $40,000, which means that we have a lot of contribution room as a society, as Canadians, to invest, to grow tax-free money and put more money back in our pocket. So make sure you understand how the tax-free savings account works. Make sure you understand what your contribution limit is. Don't over-contribute. It is a hefty penalty, but make sure you're bumping right up against that limit on an annual basis. Again, talk to your financial planner to see how does the tax-free savings account work within your overall financial and retirement plan, and start diversifying that portfolio to get a bit of a better return and utilize the account how it was meant to be.